This might look like your regular, slightly bonkers Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. You know the one, massive supercharged V8 engine, 300 kilowatts. Well, looks can be deceiving. This is actually the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, and it takes the notion of slightly bonkers and throws it clear over the fence. The Trackhawk doesn't look too much different to the SRT, but trust me, it's next level stuff. It uses a 6.2 litre supercharged V8 made by Dodge that's known as the Hellcat. It makes 522 kilowatts. Or to put it another way, that's about the same power as an SRT and a Grand Cherokee Trailhawk put together. This prodigious power output fires it right to the front of the high-performance SUV pile. In fact, it becomes the third most powerful car sold in Australia, after the Ferrari F12 and the Lamborghini Aventador S. And each of those cars will cost you more than $1 million to get on the road. So how much for all this performance? Well, we won't know the final price until about October when the car is launched in Australia, but we reckon you'll be able to have a Trackhawk for every day of the week for the price of just one of those other cars. It's about $140,000 if you're trying to do the maths at home. And the first 62 cars will be known as the Launch Edition. They'll be a bit more expensive, but they'll also have more stuff in them. Technically speaking, the Trackhawk isn't necessarily the fastest SUV on the planet. That honour goes to the Tesla Model X100D, which costs nearly twice as much. But if 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 3.7 seconds doesn't float your boat, I'd suggest you check yourself for a pulse. Stat. Now, we got a handful of laps around this brand new facility here at Club Motorsports Park in Portland, Maine. Literally the first time the track's ever been used. Now, physics is against this thing. It's 2.4 tonnes and it has the frontal area of a small block of flats. But despite all that, it actually has quite a high level of performance out here. You've got brakes from Brembo, you've got shocks from Bilstein, you've got tyres from Pirelli. And funnily enough, the Trackhawk is not out of place at a high speed, high G-load track like Club Motorsports. It's frankly astonishing. And the engineers tell us that they want the car to feel as good on the last lap as it does on the first. That's a tall order. This is a big car and it's got a lot of weight. If you want to track it every weekend, you are going to burn through tyres and you are going to burn through brakes. But boy howdy, you are going to have a hell of a time doing it. The Trackhawk works perfectly well out here on the open road as well. Look past that monster engine for just a moment and you're still aboard a Jeep Grand Cherokee, which means you've got plenty of room for 5 people in their luggage, you can tow up to 2,900 kilos, and it's supremely comfortable on long journeys. That big engine does make its presence felt when you get into the accelerator, but if you leave it in a higher gear, the revs drop away, and it feels just like an SRT. It's a bit stiffer in the chassis and in the suspension, but it's certainly not bouncy or uncomfortable. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, of course. Fuel might be cheap here in America, but don't expect a fuel figure any better than 15 litres per 100 at home. And that will get one heck of a lot worse if you drive with a heavy right foot. Put simply, the Trackhawk is by far the cheapest way to get into a 500 kilowatt plus monster that can put the wind up cars more than 4 times its price. And you're not giving away anything in practicality either. And I reckon performance mad Aussies are going to snap them up in a heartbeat.